I want to tell you in advance that we are going to be going live with the governor at 5:20, so all of us who are speaking are going to be speaking very quickly to get out of the way. But what I'd like to do very quickly is to ask all local and county officials, state officials, or federal officials, please to stand and be recognized as a group. We don't have a lot of time, but I'd like to go ahead and say that, and that's past and present too. Please stand. Again, thank you very much. We have an important topic to talk about today. The road bond is critically important, and so I'm not going to spend any time at all getting to the first speaker. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Chris Hamilton. He is the Executive Director for the West Virginia Business and Industry Council and the West Virginia Coal Association.
That's not me. Okay, I'm going to sit over here then.
So I will ask Chris to come forward, and I think the governor is mic'd up and ready to go at 5:20. So go ahead, Chris.
It's going to be a little bit like the Chris Berman 60 seconds of road bond here, but I am Chris Hamilton with the West Virginia Coal Association and the West Virginia Business and Industry Council. And on behalf of both of those organizations, we wholeheartedly support and embrace the road bond issue. I think it's our opportunity to bring a lot of prosperity and new jobs to the state. We can't think of a reason to be against this initiative. You know, all the funding measures have already been enacted. There are absolutely zero new fees or new taxes that comes from this bond measure. I had the benefit of being at a ribbon cutting ceremony, a groundbreaking ceremony for a new methanol plant up near Charleston today. They're going to be producing methanol and sending it up through the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. 300 new jobs down there. You know, it's just such a refreshing opportunity and sight to see a groundbreaking opportunity here within the state of West Virginia, particularly within the energy or industrial sector. And passage of this road bond, this roads bond amendment, will allow us to have those similar groundbreaking ceremonies, announcements of jobs, new revenue to every county, every region of our state. And we're just so in desperate need of having that type of infusion of literally millions of dollars into our economy. But it's all about getting the vote out. It's all about I mentioned earlier, this was the centerpiece to Governor Justice's campaign last year and throughout this year. He's taken full ownership of it. So insightful, but we all have an opportunity to also claim a little bit of that ownership by talking to our friends, our family, our colleagues, getting people out to vote. That's what's really needed here on October 7th. Such an honor to be here. I appreciate your attention. Governor, thanks for all you do, and look forward to getting out and voting on October 7th.
Thank you, Chris. Next up, we have Steve Roberts, heads up the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Steve, come ahead.
Tom, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I want to say just a couple of words to all my friends who are in this room. This is a community that has provided historically so much leadership to our state. When I think back on the terrific state leaders that have come from this community, I want to start by saying thank you to Beckley, to Raleigh County, to Wyoming County, to the people who are here who have put so much and invested so much and provided so much leadership to our state over the many years. The West Virginia Chamber of Commerce is made up of employers who employ over half of our state's workers. And last week, they voted unanimously in support of Amendment 1 because they are optimistic about our state's future. They know that Governor Justice has got us on the right path. They want to support him. They want to be for him. They want to do those things that will help make our state grow and prosper. You know, by passing Amendment 1, we will be creating 45,000 jobs for West Virginians, and we want those jobs. That's the way to jumpstart our economy. That's the way to get us back to work. We will be fixing the roads and making our roadways safer. And we will be doing this from existing revenue sources, so there are no new taxes associated with this. This is a program we should be supporting. A good many of us began our day in Huntington, where there's enthusiastic support for Amendment 1. We then went to a groundbreaking because we're bringing new jobs to West Virginia. Governor Justice's policies are working. Mining employment is up. Mining production is up. Natural gas production is up. We have more people working in July of 2017 than we had working in July of 2016. We have more people, Governor, working in July of 2017 than we had working in January of 2017. And the next most important job to get done is to get this Amendment 1 passed so that we can continue this progress. We're on a roll. Let's keep going. I want to thank Senator Jeffries for being part of all of the activities today and for lending his leadership to this effort. I want to thank Coach Pruitt, who's made all these stops too. Coach, thank you. My good friend Elmer. Elmer, it's great to be with you and the Justice family. So we want to make this happen. And Senator Klein, pardon me, thank you. I have new glasses, and obviously I've got a friend who's helping me along here. So Senator, great to see you, and thank you for being with us. We are so excited. Former Senator Browning is here. This is an opportunity for us in West Virginia, and we can't let it go by. So Tom, I'm going to turn the podium back to you because I know we're staying on schedule.
Thank you, Steve. Next up, representing the Contractors Association of West Virginia, is my good friend Mike Clauser.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Tom. I'm Mike Clauser. I'm with the Contractors Association of West Virginia. When Governor Justice unveiled his plan for highways in his State of the State address, we went out and immediately made up about 1,000 pins that says roads equals jobs. We gave out these pins all throughout the legislative session, and at the end of the legislative session, everybody wanted one of these, because what we are talking about with Amendment 1 is jobs for West Virginia. Obviously, we are going to create jobs in the construction industry, but we see this as a way to create jobs throughout the entire economy. When our members are building the roads, we have the opportunity to buy cars, we have the opportunity to shop at retails, we have the opportunity to have tourism, and if we do not have good roads, obviously we cannot continue the great tourism that we have in West Virginia, certainly in this area. When you look at what has transpired with the Boy Scouts here in Fayette County, in the Raleigh County area, that would not have been here if we did not have a safe and modern transportation system. So we are wholeheartedly in support of the Roads for Prosperity Amendment. We see it as a way to improve the quality of life. We see it as a way to improve all opportunities for all West Virginians with passage of this amendment. And Governor, we appreciate your leadership, and we look forward to working with you to bring this to a successful vote on October 7th. Thank you.
Well, I am amazed we are staying on schedule, and we will make the schedule. So our next speaker is Dale Lee, heads up the West Virginia Education Association. Dale.
Dale likes to talk. 8 minutes may not be enough for me. I'm Dale Lee. I'm the president of the West Virginia Education Association. And Steve didn't know it, but a Wyoming County native myself, so you're right. All that great leadership does come from Raleigh and Wyoming County. I'm going to come from a different angle, since you've heard all the reasons why we have to pass this bond. I'm going to tell you the main reason, in our view, that we have to pass this. It's for our students. It's for our kids. I've spent the last 3 weeks traveling across the state of West Virginia, and some of the roads that I've been on are really unsafe for our students. I've gone places like in Wyoming County where the road's caving in, and parents have to drive their kids and walk them to the bus stop to make sure that they're getting there safely. This is about the safety of our children, but first and foremost. So if we really care about our kids, if we care about their safety, then there's no question that we're going to vote yes on this bond issue in October. That's a no-brainer to me. Now, secondly, when you bring the jobs into the state of West Virginia, you're letting the kids have their parents back and bring their parents back. Too many times we graduate from high school or college and have to move away from West Virginia because there's no jobs here. This is a way to bring 45,000 jobs back to West Virginia immediately. Folks, we can't afford, in the state of West Virginia, we can't afford not to have prosperity. We can't afford not to grow. And the way we're going to grow is for highways and roads. Coming from southern West Virginia, I know that once we get highways down there, the people are so good in this area, and businesses will want to come. But you can't come if you can't get your products out of the county and out of the state. So I have traveled around, and I appreciate the governor, the opportunity to travel with the governor. But this is about our kids, it's about our state, it's about moving forward in this state and growing like we should. Folks, I beg you, please, everybody come out in October and vote yes on the bonds issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. All right, we're nearing the time when the governor will be speaking, and I'm going to introduce him this way. I'm going to say it's a remarkable time for transportation. It's the centerpiece of the governor's plan for economic recovery. Governor, thank you for the vision. Your West Virginia DOH team stands ready to do whatever we need to deliver the program with you. What I need to say to you all is this is big, $2.6, $2.8 billion, thousands of jobs, brings immediate economic recovery. We're real proud of the work we've done to put together a big program of different types of bonding. You can see 600 projects on this big map of the state. But what's really important for you all to know is that the general obligation bonds allows us to get to the really high-priced, expensive projects, the ones that we can't get to with the other smaller parts of the program. You can see a listing of about 40 of those projects. These are very expensive projects, $170 million for the Wheeling bridges that are literally falling apart in front of us. We have to get those fixed. So the general obligation bonds are so critically important. No new taxes required to get to those. We're able to immediately get these bigger projects going. The problem is if we don't have that general obligation bond, then we have to make do. We have to do those projects, and so suddenly we have to scale back all the other efforts we've actually already put into place. And so it really truly has a tragic human cost too. That one of the previous speakers mentioned about the two-lane roads. Four-lane expressways are at least twice as safe for our children and for ourselves as two-lane roads are, and we just can't afford not to give our citizens the roads they need and deserve. So it's an honor for me to be a part of the governor's team and really value the fact that transportation is right at the centerpiece. Governor, I think we are really right on time here to get you going live here, and I want you to tell the audience here about your program and how critically important it is. So with that, I'm going to introduce our 36th governor, Governor Jim Justice.
Okay, I said this earlier, but I guess you just got tired of sitting, and that's why you have to stand up. But I'll tell you, I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to sit, and I'm going to try to bring this down to where everyone can understand and understand as I would understand. First of all, I've got to just tell you just this. Today, let me say that before I go into everything, is Kathy hit the ceremonial first ball at the opening of the Meadows course at the Greenbrier. Now, Kathy's not hit a golf ball in 5 years, and she's surely not a golfer, but she pulled it off. And I've seen the little video. Didn't go really very far, but at least it made it, and that was good. But I really appreciate these great people, our senators, commissioners. You know, you've got all kinds of people that are here today, plus our broadcasters. you know, but you've got You've got leaders from all aspects of our community right here with us today. And I really appreciate you being here. And you've got lifetime friends. Now let's just think about this just for a second. When I came into being, we had a $500 million deficit facing us head on. We had a lot of ideas, but just to tell it like it is, we had to come up with something that would give us immediate jobs and real hope. We had every kind of problem known to man. Severance looked like it was dying away to nothing. Our coal jobs were going away. We had losing population and a drug epidemic out to yin yang. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Now that's when I walked into the party. Now, I really do believe that I give credit to the good Lord for all ideas, but especially the good ideas. And I'll really take credit for the bad ones. But the idea of this roads idea is a terrific idea. Whether it be mine or first and foremost the good Lord's, it is an unbelievable idea because it gives us what we want. It gives us immediate jobs. Now, our Senate and our House, our legislature was good enough to pass the funding. The funding is already done. All the funding is in place. Now, what we did along the way was maybe, and I could take credit maybe for a little bit of this part, I came up with the idea of how to put together a financial instrument. While interest rates were so low, we could put together that instrument into a bond and be able to really let all of the road work we have at one time and create, and you guys have been saying 45,000, but it was 48,000, and I want the other 3,000. But 48,000 new jobs, can you just imagine what that's going to do for our state? It's just going to blow us completely off the chart as far as the possibilities that we have going forward. Now, think about the revenue that's generated from 48,000 new jobs. Think about the possibilities of everything going forward. Now, I said along the way, I said severance was going to improve, and it has. And I think for the foreseeable future, severance is going to stay relatively strong. But we've got to have the first building block of this whole train is the roads. Now, I know you're all with me. But here's what I want to explore just while we're sitting right here. And that's just this. And that is, do you know anyone? Now, you've got to level with me. Do you know anyone? The funding is in place. Taxes will not rise. Do you know anyone that's an in-law or an outlaw or Crazy Harry down at the 7-Eleven? Do you know anyone that's going to vote no? Other than the fact of this, if you know someone, you know what's happened? They've been scared. They've been scared by someone that said, you know, if you vote for this, your taxes are going to go up, or it's going to put the state further in debt and we can't get out of it. They've been scared, and that's sad. And you've got to try to do something about that, because I'll do all that I possibly can, but it's not true. But yet, especially some of our elderly, they can be scared, and then they can be made to believe that politicians won't tell them the truth. Well, let me tell you this, for good or for bad, that's what I'll always do. It never meant anything to me whether you're a Republican or Democrat or independent. It only meant one thing, and that's why I ran. You see, I don't want a thing for me. I never have. I want us to be West Virginians first and foremost. Now, I also want to tell you just this, and I had our guy put this together. Now, the great Tom Smith, and he's a great, great man, and he is incredibly talented, and we're so blessed to have him, it's off the chart. But he spoke of the Wheeling Bridge, and we're in southern West Virginia. And while we think the Wheeling Bridge is great and important, we again have been scared that none of these monies are going to flow to West Virginia. Listen to this. Now just think about this. Raleigh County, $132.4 million will come to Raleigh County. Wyoming County, $177.6 million. Mercer County, $116 million. Fayette County, where we've been said, oh, there's no money coming to Fayette County, $46.3 million. 35.7 to Greenbrier County, 32.8 million to McDowell County, 10.6 to Boone County, 10.6 to Nicholas County, 9.6 to Summers County, 9.3 to Summers County, 9.6 to Monroe County, and $170 million to Wayne County. 212 projects in southern West Virginia, $750 million. Can you imagine the jobs? That's really what's happening right in front of us right now. You've been told things that are just flat wrong. You've been scared in some ways. This is our chance. We did go to a methanol plant, is that correct today, that's on the way. $150 million project that's going to have 300 jobs now and 60 permanent jobs as we go forward, and the possibility of maybe building 3 more plants like that right in our doorstep. Now, where's my phone? Pam, where are you? Okay, well, I'll tell you about it real quick. There's so many things that are happening right at our doorstep right now within West Virginia. And they're on the way, and they're happening. Now listen, I'm talking to the Trump people and everything every third day. Why do you think they've been here as much as they've been here? They really want to help West Virginia, and they're going to help West Virginia. Now, I don't know if it's going to be from the coal side or the timber side or the natural gas hub or manufacturing hub or whatever it may be, but truly, they are committed to helping West Virginia. We have got to be smart enough to be able to help ourselves. I mean, they're looking at this road bond vote with a laser because they expect us to help ourselves. The Secretary of Energy, Secretary Perry, just called the other day. You know what he said? Text me. He's all over this manufacturing natural gas hub. Now, they're all over that, which could create income beyond our wildest dreams to our state. Now, maybe that natural gas hub is not in our back door in southern West Virginia, but that natural gas hub would produce jobs and income within our state that could fall back and help our teachers and help education and help every aspect of our state beyond belief. And you know what he texted me the other day? And it's right there on my, bring it here, Pam. This is how high tech I am. You've got to look closely at my flip phone. This is it. Now, this is really short and sweet, and this is my little phone, okay? But this is from Rick Perry. He said, I texted him a message back, he said, got it. And then he said, make Appalachia great again. I am telling you, there's a lot of good things that are on their way. A lot of great things can happen to West Virginia. Our roads referendum here has to be passed. I ask you this, do you know anybody that's going to vote against this? Anybody? I can't find somebody that would vote against this, but yet we know there'll be a force out there. We've got to vote, and we've got to make sure, because this is our shot. This is the beginning of a West Virginia like you've never seen. A West Virginia you've all wanted. A West Virginia that's not 50th in everything coming or going. It's right at our fingertips. Now, it's there for the taking. It's not there for additional taxes. It's there for the taking. Now, we've got to seize the moment. And you can trust me on this from now on. I will never not tell you the truth. And this is our moment. And we've got to do it right now. We cannot let October 7th slide by. Early voting starts September the 22nd. We've got to get our voice heard. And I want our voice heard like a mandate like you can't believe. Now, let's just be real. Think about the federal people. Think about the Rick Perrys and the Donald Trumps and the Mike Pence and everybody that's looking at West Virginia, and they want to help us. And they see us come in with a winning vote by 3 votes. You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, for crying out loud, what are we doing trying to help those people? I mean, here they have a home run of home runs of home runs of home runs, and they can't even make up their mind on that. But yet if they see us come in and command a day and say, we're going to put our footprint on this, and it's going to be at 85% of the vote, they're going to say that state's on the move. And that state is moving in the direction that we want to see our nation move. They're behind us, and they're wanting to help us. Now, we've got to speak up and say we want to help ourselves. Trust me, this is just the first step. There's so much good coming, and there's so much good coming to southern West Virginia, you can't imagine it. You can't imagine it, what is happening within West Virginia right now. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the two in the room that may be up rebel-rousing everybody else, and everybody just kind of goes along for the sake of going along. Don't listen to those. We're on our way, and I'm committed beyond belief. I am thankful to the good Lord above in every way. I absolutely have got to tell you this before I cease. There's 2 gentlemen over here, Mo Ball, my greatest friend, and Dan Anderson, a trooper beyond belief. They are prayerful in my life in every way. And I bless them, and I know they bless me through the good Lord in every way. Now let me tell you, we've got to get this done. Even Big Jeff's here. And Big Jeff, I grew up with that rascal, and gosh knows, we did everything in the world together, and we won't talk about that. But we got a shot, and we want that shot to be, I want it to be 94%, and say 6% of the people just couldn't find their way home. You know, but we're going to go with 94%. Anyway, I'll gladly answer any question that anybody may have. And I haven't had the opportunity to do that, but if you've got a question, please, somebody ask. Because I'd love to answer anything which you may choose to ask.
What's the leverage on this as far as matching funds?
Well, right now, and Tom, maybe Tom, you're better to answer the matching funds thing.
The Garvey program, which is $500 million, is federally funded, so that's 80-20. It's 80% federal, 20%. So that's $500 million. The general obligation bonds are completely state funds. The turnpike bonds are completely state funds. There is the opportunity, perhaps, with the Trump administration, if there were additional federal funds, that you could leverage additional things there. Washington's trying to work on that, but not likely to happen this year. So that's a future conversation.
And let me just add this, Bert. Let me add this. If the Trump people come through with an aggressive infrastructure program, And in our bonding here, we can get our bonding done and placed while our interest rates are at the lowest that they can possibly be. There'll be excess capacities there. And if there are opportunities to do matching funds, and we have that excess capacity, we could parlay that into 3 or 4 times the amount of the excess capacity. So that's really important as well. And the other thing is that excess capacity that we're going to have in the amount that we have can spin right back into repairing and fixing existing roads. So that's, I mean, this is not just a new roads program, because we've got all kinds of roads that we can't even get to the convenience store today that we're going to have to some way somehow fix so we don't tear our vehicles all to pieces going to the convenience store.
So you're not speaking only of 4 lanes, you're speaking of 2 lanes.
We're speaking of every kind of lanes, driveways. I mean, we're fixing everything.
That's what I want to tell my.
Yeah, absolutely. This is by no means just something that's we're going to fix an interstate. No, this is fixing all roads. You may have to have a long driveway for us to fix it. Anybody else? This is our chance, and I love you with all my soul, and I really appreciate you coming. You know, it shows that you love West Virginia like I love West Virginia. This is our chance. And I really appreciate you coming, because not only do I love West Virginia, but I love you, and I know you love me too. Thank y'all. Okay, God bless.
Thank you, Governor. And we have folks from the Highway Department. If you have detailed questions, we're going to hang around afterwards and be happy to answer any of the questions you have. But again, thank you, Governor, for your leadership with this program. We've just got to get this done.
I agree.
Thank you.
You see how he dodged me on detail.
Well, I've learned it's not good to ever ask a question like this with your boss, but we haven't figured out how to do driveways yet.
Okay, good deal.
Give us
Fair
time.
enough. Okay.